Hi, today's AI bite size is: what do we mean by responsible AI practices and why is it so important? Responsible AI put into practice simply means the principles in place for AI systems are transparent, trustworthy, and focused on reducing potential risks and negative outcomes. Depending on your AI implementation, this can vary, but essentially the core principles are fairness and bias mitigation, accountability, typically human oversight and clear ownership of outcomes, privacy and security, safety and reliability, inclusiveness, and transparency. Understanding the principles. When looking at these one by one and recognizing that implementations differ across organizations, these principles may be applied differently but should maintain a consistent theme. For example, identifying fairness can be achieved by testing outputs across different groups to ensure there is no bias. Reducing bias is achieved by improving data quality, adjusting models, and adding governance controls. Accountability and governance. To achieve accountability and, once governance and ownership are in place, a structured oversight process and auditing are used for human review and overriding outputs. Structured evaluation of data, models, and outputs is essential for bias detection and compliance. However, a human in the loop does not guarantee the absence of bias without continuous monitoring, audits, and governance. Bias and model behavior. As both traditional and generative AI models make predictions or generate content based on training data, it is important to understand the trade-offs that can occur with bias and variance. When bias is high and variance is low, models tend to underfit the data as they fail to capture important patterns. When bias is low and variance is high, models overfit the data, capturing noise and performing poorly on new data. A balanced model maintains low bias and low variance, capturing meaningful patterns without overfitting. This directly impacts fairness outcomes, as poorly tuned models can introduce or amplify bias. Privacy versus security. When working with data for AI models, it is important to ensure privacy and security controls are in place to protect sensitive information. To protect sensitive data, intellectual property, and ensure compliance with data protection regulations, this can be achieved through encryption, securing data at rest, in use, and in transit, along with the appropriate access controls, but there is a clear difference between them. Privacy controls how personal data is collected, used, and shared. Security protects that data from unauthorized access and breaches. Safety and responsibility. Although safety and responsibility blend with all the other principles we've discussed, this is achieved by designing systems that are reliable and robust, continuously testing for failures and harmful outcomes, and enforcing human oversight and controls to prevent misuse and unintended impact. Inclusiveness. Finally, designing systems that are accessible and equitable for diverse users and using representative data helps remove barriers that could disadvantage specific groups. This ensures systems are accessible, equitable, and beneficial for people of all backgrounds, abilities, and needs. Transparency in responsible AI means ensuring that AI systems are explainable and understandable to users, stakeholders, and regulators, including clear visibility into how decisions are made, what data is used, and any limitations or risks associated with the model. This is achieved through clear documentation, model explainability techniques, and open communication, enabling users to trust AI outputs and challenge or validate decisions where required. Benefits of responsible AI. With all this taken into consideration, it is important to understand the benefits of responsible AI. Increased trust and reputation. More people will interact with AI applications if they believe the system is fair, transparent, and safe. Competitive advantage. Organizations can differentiate themselves by adopting ethical AI practices. Improved products and business outcomes. AI models perform better when trained on diverse and representative data. Better decision-making. As businesses become more data-driven, responsible AI helps reduce flawed outputs and enables more accurate, reliable insights. Hope you found this useful. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.